Have you ever just stopped and looked around? I mean, really looked? The chair you're in, the food in your pantry, the very walls around you, all of it came from someone's skill, someone's hard work. Today, we're going to meet some of those people, the makers and the nurturers, who are the true foundation of our communities. So, let's ask that big question. Who actually builds our world? Yeah, it's easy to think of the big-shot architects or the famous CEOs, but the real world, the one we live in every single day, is built by hands we almost never see. These are the unsung heroes of our daily lives. So you're ready to meet them? We're going to take a little journey into the fields, the workshops, and the classrooms that are the real bedrock of society. Every single person we're about to see plays a role that is absolutely irreplaceable.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the makers. These are the folks who get their hands dirty. They take the raw stuff of the planet, wood, clay, metal, and they literally shape it into the world we can see and touch every day.
And where else could we start but at the absolute source, the Rayatu, the farmer? You could make a pretty strong case that this is the most fundamental job in all of human history. Because without the farmer, there's no food. And without food, well, there's no anything else.
The job description sounds so simple, doesn't it? Grows crops. But just think about the incredible knowledge that's packed into those two words. You've got to understand the soil, the weather, the seasons. It's a science, it's an art, and honestly, our entire civilization is built on it.
All right, from the open fields, let's step into the workshop of the Madari, the basket weaver. Now, this is just a perfect example of human ingenuity. Taking something as simple as bamboo or reeds and creating something that's both beautiful and incredibly practical.
Their work is to weave baskets. And that phrase is such a powerful metaphor, isn't it? They take all these individual, kind of fragile strands and weave them together to make something strong, something whole. Kind of sounds like a community, right?
Next, let's meet the Vadrangi, the carpenter. This is the person who shapes the world immediately around us, working with one of the most basic and beautiful building materials out there, wood. Their job is to make things with wood. And just think for a second how huge that is. We're talking about everything from the roof over your head to the table you eat at. The carpenter's skill turns a tree into shelter, into comfort, into our everyday lives. Okay, from wood, we move to the earth itself with the Kumari, the potter. This is such an ancient craft. It's almost like alchemy, right? Turning simple mud and clay into these durable, essential things we use for cooking, storing, and drinking. Makes pots with clay. But if you've ever actually seen a potter at work, it's mesmerizing. It's like this dance between their hands and the earth. For literally thousands of years, these pots and vessels have held our water, stored our food, and served our meals. Our last maker is the Kamsali, the goldsmith. Now, while the others create things for our daily needs, the goldsmith takes these precious materials and creates objects of beauty, of culture, and of incredible value. Sure, they make jewelry with gold, but it's so much more than just pretty decoration. These pieces become symbols of marriage. They mark huge milestones in our lives. They become family heirlooms that carry stories. The Kamsali isn't just shaping metal, they're shaping our traditions. So, let's do a quick recap of our makers. We've got the farmer, growing our food, the weaver, creating our containers, the carpenter, building our homes and furniture, the potter, making our vessels, and the goldsmith, crafting our cultural treasures. Each one of them is shaping a vital piece of our physical world. But, a community isn't just about the things in it, it's about the people. And that brings us to our next group, the guides. These are the people who focus on the health, the knowledge, and the well-being of the community itself.
And first up among our guides is the Doktaru, the doctor. Their entire job is centered around healing and care. They're dedicated to keeping everyone in the community physically healthy and strong.
What do? They treat patients. Simple as that. But when our bodies fail us, it's the doctor's knowledge that gets us back on our feet so we can go back to our lives and our own work. They're pretty much the guardians of our physical well-being. And if the doctor takes care of the body, our next guide, the Upadhyayalu, or teacher, takes care of the mind. They're the ones who hold on to all our collected knowledge and have the massive responsibility of passing it on to the next generation. Yes, they teach lessons, but we all know it's so much more than that. A really great teacher doesn't just give you facts. They spark your curiosity. They build your confidence. They basically pass the torch of civilization from one generation to the next. And here you can see this perfect, beautiful partnership. The doctor heals the body, and the teacher nurtures the mind. One makes sure we're physically able to contribute to the world, and the other makes sure we have the knowledge and wisdom to do it well. You absolutely need both for a healthy community.
Okay, so let's bring it all home now. What happens when you take the work of the makers and the work of the guides and you weave it all together? Well, you get the strong, vibrant fabric of a society.
I mean, just look at how all these roles lock into place. You've got food, you've got shelter, you have healing when you're sick, and the sharing of knowledge. You've got tools and treasures. Each job is like a single thread, but when you weave them all together, you create a community that's tough, resilient, and whole.
And that, right there, is the big idea. The makers build our physical world, sure, but it's the guides who make sure that the people living in that world can truly thrive. Together, they create a society that isn't just built, it's cared for, it's nurtured.
So, I'll leave you with one last thing to think about. We've looked at just a handful of these essential roles today, but as you go about your week, think about this. What other jobs, what other vocations are absolutely essential to your life? The answers might just surprise you.